Hello everyone, welcome back to Cambrian Digital Class. I am Mohammed Farooque, Senior Lecturer, BRAC Institute of Languages, BRAC University, your English teacher. We are going to deal with English for today for class 8. Today our topic is going on a foreign trip. Dear students, today we are going to discuss Unit 1, going on a foreign trip. In our last class, we have discussed Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. Today, we are going to discuss Lesson 3 and Lesson 4. Before going to start our discussion today, let's have a quick look at what we have done earlier in our previous lessons. In our previous lessons, we have talked about at the airport in the first lesson. In the second lesson, we have dealt with filling in a form. And we have practiced a few exercises in 2 lessons earlier. Today we are going to start our lesson from Lesson 3, Section B. Now, let's read the text and answer the questions. This is an extract regarding Zara's parents, Mrs. Juma Islam and Mr. Mazharul Islam. So, by reading the text, you are going to give some answers after reading the text, and the answers should be based on the text. Now, let's have a quick look at the extract. Zara's parents, Mrs. Juma Islam, Mr. Mazharul Islam, Zara and Mita fill in their departure cards and move towards the immigration counter. Mita stands in front of one of the booths. She hands in her passport and the departure card to the officer. The immigration officer goes through Mita's passport, visa, and the departure card. Now he is asking question to Mita. Are you traveling alone? Asked the officer. No. I'm going with my uncle, aunt, and my cousin, says Mita. They are right there on the counter. Is this your first visit to Thailand? Yes. How long are you going to stay there? 7 to 10 days. Where are you going to stay? In a hotel. The officer is talking as well as going through Mita's papers. He finds the papers okay. He smiles and stamps her passport. The officer keeps the departure card and returns the passport to Mita. Have a safe journey, thanks. Mita waits for her aunt, uncle, and Zara on the other side of the immigration. Once all of them are done, they walk towards the passenger's departure lounge. Now, the thing is that here we can see a conversation between Mita and the immigration officer. And the fact is that Mita is giving answer in response to his questions. Dear friends, here we can see a very interesting thing is conversation between 2 persons. Someone is asking questions and someone else is giving answers. This is a technique we need to apply in our spoken English. Now let's see after this extract what are the exercises. We can see here in section C, make a list showing what the immigration officer asks and tells Mita, and what Mita said in response. First one is done for you. Young friends, now it's your turn to think what she was asked by the immigration officer and what she answered. Are you traveling alone? The first one is done for you. No, I'm traveling with my aunt, uncle, and cousin. Now here we can see one thing here. If you go, you will see I apostrophe and am. Rather than I am, here am shortened form, contraction used in spoken English. As I told you earlier, beginning of this Unit 1, going on a foreign trip, the target of the unit is to learn and develop our listening, speaking, reading, and writing. 4 skills. Here we can see, and we are using spoken skills, how to speak and how to answer to a question. And when we speak, we need to use the shortened form like am rather than I am. So let's try to make the answer for the rest of the questions. It is your turn, dear students. First one is done. The second one is now. To give the answer, we need to go back here to see what questions were put to Mita by the immigration officer and what did she say in response. First one is, are you traveling alone? She answered, no, I'm traveling with my aunt, uncle, and cousin. Now, what you need to do? You need to make one question based on the conversation between Mita and immigration officer, and you need to find out the answer from the same passage. That's what you need to do. Now let's start, young friends, how to get the question first and relevant answer to the question. If we look for the second question by the immigration officer, we can see here, how long are you going to stay there? Isn't it a question? What do you think? Yes, this is a question asked by the immigration officer. Now, what could be the answer of that question? Now it's your turn to guess. I'm sure all of you have found the answer. Answer should be here, 7 to 10 days. Just a simple answer. You can give answer 2 ways. Either you can say, I'm going to stay there for 7 to 10 days, or only 7 to 10 days. Why? Because in a comprehension question, you need to show your understanding of what you have just read. No need to give unnecessary information, because in a comprehension, you need to show your complete understanding of the fact you have just read. So if we come back again for the third question asked by the immigration officer, I'm sure all of you will find the question within the officer is talking as well as going through Mita's parents. He finds, is this your first visit to Thailand? You see the question. Now, if this is the question you can find out from this passage quite easily, then what should be the correct answer? The answer should be yes. Mita's answer was yes. Now you can write in a complete sentence, yes, it is my first visit, or you can only say yes, it is enough. As I told you earlier, because it is a comprehension question, no need to give unnecessary information. Now, if we look for the last question, then what could be the last one? Where are you going to stay? The immigration officer say. Then what does she say? She say, in a hotel. She is going to stay in a hotel. So do you find it interesting, hard, difficult? I don't think so, because all answers are taken from the passage. All are here. Nothing is hidden. So on the surface, you can find the answer. That is what is called comprehension. After reading a text, if you understand, then you need to select the answer from the passage and you need to write it in the sheet, in the paper. Then you are you are certainly getting full marks. Now let's go to the next session, that is most interesting part in any lesson. Can you guess what it could be? It is nothing but acting out. Most interesting part of a lesson. Now you are going to talk two pairs together, going to act. One is going to act out as Mita, another is going to act out as the officer. Don't you find it interesting? I'm sure it is interesting enough. Now what you need to do is, the whole class will be divided into pairs. I mean, you need one person. And then one person would be the Mita and another person would be the immigration officer. Now you are on stage, you are acting. So how to act and what to do? What is the benefit from acting in a language class? By acting out the character, you can exercise and apply the spoken skills in your real life. Exactly how they pronounce, what are the ways they have made the structures, and how to give the answer, and how to use the spoken English in shortened form. Other skills of spoken English can easily be used in real life by acting out. At the same time, if you can act in front of many people, you can easily exercise and apply the skill in society with the people around you. Now, let's have a look at what you are expected to do. Suppose you are from your group, one is going to be Mita, and stand up face to face and think of an imaginary stage like at a table, immigration table, where the officer is sitting at an imaginary passport and he is going through and asking question. To take help, we can go back to the conversation between Mita and the officer. Like, now it's your decision who is going to act out as Mita and who is going to act out as the immigration officer. So immigration officer is acting. Before that, you were talking to each other. Now you are going to acting as if you are in real life asking question in an immigration desk. Like, are you traveling alone? At the same time, you are saying the passport. Ask the officer. This time you cannot say ask the officer. No, I'm going with my uncle, aunt, cousin, says Mita. They are right there on that counter. It means you are acting, talking, at the same time you are using gestures, postures, facial expression to make your communication more effective. If you talk only without any gesture, without any expression at all, it's not going to be a live conversation between two persons. But when on stage you talk with expression, that's going to be the real English in our real life. That's what we need to practice in our real life. Now, dear children, it's your turn to go on with the conversation we have just gone through. I mean, the officer will find out the dialogue from here and ask question, and who is acting as Mita is going to answer to the questions. After that, if you want to add more dialogue written or made by you or your friends, that's interesting. I would certainly appreciate if you can make a dialogue and use it in your real life. So I'm sure all of you are going to do it in your class and going to enjoy and acting out. Thank you. Next, let's see the next one. Now, a tiny weeny little question Just what are the three things needed at immigration? We know in section E a question. You need three things at the airport, immigration. We need many things, but we need to mention only three things. Can you guess what three things we need? I'm sure all are by the time familiar with the process. What Mita and her cousin are facing and having with the immigration officer. Certainly, first of all, passport, visa, and what else? Guess. I'm sure departure card, so many more things, but three things enough to give the answer. Now, can we go for the next one? Children, let's go. Wow, good looking. Now they are going to board the plane. The key was seize, enclosed, formality, gel. Dear children, I would like to know the words, meaning of the words through the reading rather than saying the meaning beforehand. So this is all about boarding the plane. Most exciting. Feeling tempted to board the plane, children, don't you? Read the text and answer the following question. Here again we need to read the text, and after reading the text we will have some questions, and the question should be answered based on the text. Now let's have a quick look at the text. Let's have a quick look what it says. Mita, Zara, Mr. and Mrs. Islam all sit at the lounge. They all have hand luggage with them. Mr. Islam asks, Mita, Zara, are you two carrying any liquid, lotion, gel, or cream in your carry-on luggage? I have a small lip gel in it. Why, uncle? Well, if it is a very small one, there is no problem. But if you have more than 100 ml, you have to put it in checked-in luggage. These are not allowed on board in hand luggage for security reasons. The officials who do the baggage checking will seize and throw them away. This is a conversation between Mr. Islam and Mita and Zara. I'm sure all of you have understood what he is talking about. He is talking about the contraband item which is not supposed to be carried in hand luggage. Dear children, I am sure by the time we have understood to board or for a journey, we have two types of luggages. One should be with you, we call it hand luggage. Another should be unguided. So, hand luggage, in hand luggage, what you are not supposed to carry is mentioned here. On the right, we can see a leaflet or a warning sign. No, big no. Can you say why? Because these are risky, dangerous goods on aircraft. We can't carry with our hand luggage. And we can see pictures, and the pictures are, you see, can you read? I'm sure you can easily. LPG means LP gas, paint, and you can see here, what's that? Wow, I'm scared of it. It's bullet. Do you think, is it wise to carry without declaration? No, not at all. It says these are the things we can't carry without declaration. Then the next line says, are you carrying them in your luggage or on your person? If you have any dangerous good, declare them. Then if you don't declare, what is going to happen? It is an offense, criminal offense. It means without permission or declaration, if we carry these things or one of the things, we are definitely be penalized or prosecuted, means it is illegal. So that's all about lesson 4, boarding the plane. Now let's have a look what are the question after the text. Wow, we have more information here. Mita, Zara, Juma Islam and Mazharul Islam go through the security checking and wait in the enclosed area. All the formalities are done. Now they are waiting to board the plane. Mita, Zara and her parents board the plane after their row number is announced. Mita gets a window seat. Her seat number is F23C. Zara sits beside her on an aisle seat and her parents sit behind them. Again, after immigration, security checking, how they are going to board the plane. Here we can see a new information. The row number or the seat number is declared here or announced here. The seat number we are coming back to this point again to answer the question. If we go to the next one, we can see Mita, Zara and her parents board the plane after the row number is announced. Mita gets a window seat. Her seat number is F23C. Zara sits beside her on an aisle seat and her parents sit behind them. Here we can see the information how and where they sit. If we go for the question, we'll have to come back to the extract for our answer. And we can see the picture of a plane seat arrangement, how they sit, where the windows are. Dear children, let's go to the question. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4. We have got 4 questions. Number 1, who had a small lip gel in the hand luggage? Do you find it very hard question? Are you thinking of getting the right answer? Do you need my help? Can you remember what did I say earlier? It's a comprehension question. How to get the answer? You need to go to the text. From the text, you need to look for the answer. I'm going to help you, but the thing is that who had, who, the person who spoke, need to be found out. Let's go back. Here, we can see I have a small lip gel in it. Why, uncle? Now, dear children, can you guess who it might be? Because the name is not mentioned here. Guess. Interesting. Quite easy. Because uncle, 2 girls are here. One is Mr. Islam's daughter and one is who? Mita, Zara's cousin. So it must be Mita. The answer should be Mita. If you write only Mita, you are right. If you want to write Mita said this, no problem. So answer is here to the question number 1 in the questioning part. Now, question number 2. How much liquid or gel is allowed to carry in hand luggage? How much? First, you need to focus on the main thing in a question. Never think of the whole chunk of the question. Here, we need the amount of the gel is allowed to carry in hand luggage. Where can I find the answer? Same. Let's go back again. Where is it? It is lesson 4, boarding the plane. The amount is 100 ml. By the time I'm sure all of you have got the answer. Haven't you, children? I'm sure all of you have got the answer. This is 100 ml. Now, if we go back to the question once again for the third question, we can see why are liquid, gel, cream not allowed on board a plane? Why? Let's go back again to the text. Lesson 4, section A. Why? What can you see here? Security reason. For security reason, those things are not allowed on plane. But if you ask me, or if you think how much the answer should be, the amount of words, the size of the answer, you can write only for security reason, or you can write the full sentence in comprehension, no problem at all. Now let's go for the last one. Which row is Mita sitting in? Now we got the information from again the same extract here. We can see her seat number is what? Guess. It's in front of you. Quite easy. What's that? F23C. The answer. F23C. Is it okay, children? Do you find it hard? Not at all. Now I am going to give you a little tiny weeny work for you to see how you do at home with your friends. This is a listen to the teacher, the chart. We have two tables here. On the left we have announcement, on the right we have information. We can see the first one is done for you. Announcement is destination. Answer is Bangkok or Thailand. Name of the airways. Can you remember what we have read so far to find out the answer? Guess. Now it's your turn to think of the answer. Or if you can't do it now, you can leave it because answers are already there and we have read all through. You need to get the answer, I'm sure. If I help you to give the second answer, Biman Bangladesh, number BG 88. And rest of the questions for you to do. Dear children, I am not going to give you the answer now. It's a surprise for you. First one is done and you will go through, try to get the answer and we'll discuss it in the next class. Till then, all the best. Bye-bye.